As I was saying earlier, this class is on how to live a healthy lifestyle on a budget. So what we're going to learn about here is exactly that. We're going to teach you how to eat organic, how to eat healthy, and not really spend any more money than you're probably spending today. I mean, that's within reason. If you eat really poorly and you're eating Doritos and Coke every day, well, you can eat pretty darn cheap, and I don't think anybody can compete with that low budget price. But what I'm trying to get you guys to understand by going through this course is that you'll be able to do this without breaking the bank. We're going to teach you where to shop, how to read labels, and how to shop organic on a budget. Here's our course outline. We'll do a quick review of what you should be doing up to this point. We'll go into label reading. We'll talk about shopping on an organic on a budget. We'll talk about where to shop and save. We'll also talk about your pantry and refrigerator in its current state. We're going to talk about cooking a little bit. There's plenty of recipes out there on our blog, by the way. So I'm populating more and more all the time. So look there. There's plenty of recipe sites out there. You can always modify the recipes you find to use organic whole ingredients, and then taking action. So this is what the action that you should have already be taking. You should already be or have. In this case, you should have made a friend that leads a healthy lifestyle, and hopefully you've made more than one at this point. You should be practicing traffic light eating. You should have started to eliminate toxic foods and toxins out of your diet and out of your environment. You should have started moving. Again, just moving, even if it's just walking, whatever it is, start moving. You should have started writing your goals daily in the morning and reviewing them before bedtime. You should be measuring your health, how you feel, log how you feel, keep a journal, check the scale, do your measurements weekly. I also recommend getting a fitness watch of some sort, of Fitbit or Apple Watch, something like that, where you can track and measure your activity every day. You should have started keeping health top of mind for a new mindset. So this is all about the knowledge. Start listening to podcasts, start listening to audiobooks on a healthy lifestyle and success. Start to watch documentaries on the food industry and leading a healthy lifestyle, and then start reading books on a healthy lifestyle and success. Here's our mindset moment. The word can't is self-limiting. If you say can't, then you make that a reality, and you simply can't. When you say that I can, all things become possible. But if you really want to succeed, then you will say, I will. Think about that a moment. If you say I will, then you're going to do it. I can't, you shut it down. I can makes it open to possibilities, but you want to say I will. If it's something you really want to do, then say I will. I'll do it. Again, there's no try. Label reading. Okay, so nutritional information. It's important to understand the macronutrient portion of the label. All right, so when we look at this label, at the very top, we've got your serving size and we've got the number of servings per container. Pay attention to this. People read calories, 240 calories. Oh, and it's a candy bar or it's a protein bar or something, and they don't see that there's 2 servings. So they're eating 480 calories, really. I'm not so concerned, quite honestly, with the calories. I'm not really all that concerned, again, with the fats, the saturated fat, the cholesterol. The sodium I am concerned with. You want to keep your sodium level to a minimum. If you're using MyFitnessPal like I recommended, and you're putting your food in, it will tell you what your sodium count is for the day. It will tell you when you're going over the daily recommended for a person of your size and weight. Trans fats are important, though. Stay away from trans fats, folks. Here's a little secret the food companies don't tell you. Number one, trans fats have been outlawed, okay? But until that law officially goes into effect in 2021, they can still have them in there. They're phasing them out. And they can put 0 on the label as long as there is less than 0.5 grams. Now, 0.49 grams of trans fat is a huge amount of trans fat. Okay, it's a huge amount. It's very toxic. It's not good for you. It'll lead to high cholesterol. It'll lead to heart disease. It'll lead to heart attacks. Stay away from, amongst a lot of other things. All right. You want to eat a diet rich in fiber. So you look at that fiber. In this case, whatever this nutrition label is for, I really don't know. There's no fiber. If there's no fiber, you probably shouldn't be eating it, because that means it's been extracted. It's food that's been extracted from other foods, and you're not getting the whole food. So your body doesn't know how to digest it. All right. Sugars. You want to limit your sugars. You want to look. We'll talk about sugars a little bit more on the next slide, but you want to watch the amount of sugar that you're eating per the calories and per the fat. Okay. Protein's super important. So dietary fiber and protein are probably the most two important things on here that you want to have. So protein, eating enough protein is really important to making sure you're rebuilding muscle, and that you're getting cravings. Okay. You want to eat plenty of protein. The daily percent are important to understand. Down at the bottom, your percentage on the right of what it is in your diet that you're supposed to eat every day. If you look at this particular item, you're getting 1/4 of your saturated fat for the day, for example, right? You're getting 20% of your total fat. You're getting 28% of your sodium. So keep those things in mind while you're looking at nutrition labels. All right, ingredients, folks. So ingredients are the most important part of the label. All right. We really want to pay attention to this. Common rules. If you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. It's that simple. You can't pronounce it, don't eat it. Don't even bother looking it up. Just don't eat it. All right. If you have to look it up, don't eat it. If you really want to look it up and you're really curious, use that Think Dirty app, because it'll tell you it'll tell you what the ingredients are and why they're bad for you. All right. And then bad words on the label. So these are the 4-letter words, the cuss words, the things you want to stay away from. Modified. If it says modified, that means somebody's messed with it. A food scientist has messed with it. All right. High fructose, anything, stay away from. All right. Lecithin. So lecithin describes a group of fatty substances found in plant and animal tissues. Lecithin is essential for proper biological function. A commercial form of lecithin is commonly used in the preparation of food, cosmetics, and medicine, as it extends shelf life and acts as an emulsifier. It is commonly used as a medicine. So why is it bad? That doesn't sound so bad, does it? Although lecithin occurs naturally in many foods, lecithin supplements are typically derived from eggs, soy, or sunflower seeds. Lecithin is also obtained from canola, cottonseed, or animal fats. Soy is one of the most widely grown crops in the United States, and 94% of it is genetically modified. Soy is a cost-effective source of lecithin. Chemicals, including acetone and hexane, are used to extract the lecithin from the soybean oil. Folks, the extraction process uses toxic chemicals. Acetone and hexane are highly toxic. All right, here's why it's a problem. All right, however, lecithin is derived from sunflower oil is becoming increasingly popular, possibly due to requirements to declare allergens in foods. Also, those who wish to avoid genetically modified crops may choose sunflower lecithin. The extraction process is typically gentler and is carried out by cold pressing rather than with chemical solvents. So sunflower lecithin's not quite as bad, okay? But the real problem is when we start to extract parts of a plant, we are not getting the whole plants, and our bodies don't know how to properly digest it. That's why isolates and concentrates are such a big problem, and actually have been thought to lead to a lot of the food allergies that we have today, because we're eating all of these concentrates and isolates. So soy protein isolate, high fructose corn syrup, agave nectar, whey, gluten, anything that says concentrate or isolate is not good, all right? These foods are suspected, again, of adding to the rising number of food allergies. Concentrates and isolated food are unbalanced. They lack their natural fibers. This causes an increase in inflammation. By just taking these little parts of these plants and eating them in high concentration in an isolate or in a concentrate, we are hitting our bodies with something that doesn't recognize, okay? And then it creates inflammation, which then creates allergies, all right? It's that simple, all right? We just don't know how to digest it. What does the name organic really mean, folks? USDA organic means a minimum of 95% of the ingredients have been certified to be organic, all right? Now, and all of this, just keep in mind, this doesn't include the water or salt content. Salt's a mineral. It can't not be organic. It's just a simple mineral. So whenever you hear someone talk about a mineral being organic, all minerals are organic. They're base minerals. So 100% certified organic is exactly what it says to be. That's another USDA label, but everything's certified to be 100% organic in that product. Organic is when it just says organic, that generally means that 80% of the ingredients are organic. Organically grown means that your farmer is using organic practices, okay? But he's not going to the expense of getting things certified. And there's box foods that are this way too. You can go to their websites and they'll say, hey, we practice organic practices. This is the way we create our food. So if you find something you really like that's got like the Non Gmo certification label or and says organically raised or something like that, check out their website. They probably do the practice thing, but they just don't want to go to the expense. And by the way, if a company goes to the expense, then they just have to pass that expense on to you anyway. So this is why like farmers markets are so great, because you can go talk to the farmers and you can talk to them about the way that they grow their produce or the way they raise their meat, and find out that, for example, the place where we get a lot of our meat, the two places we get it from, they use all organic practices, but it's not certified organic. And we pay a little bit less for that. But everything's pasture-raised. And it's hard when something's pasture-raised or grass-fed, it's hard for them to get it certified organic because they have to certify that the entire field is organic, and that's kind of hard to do. So just keep that in mind. Now, here's a little article that I found. The food industry is really, really trying. They're really trying to underplay organic and make it all seem like it's the same as conventional, right? So the food industry is trying to miseducate the public. This article that I found, all right, it's basically saying that organic foods are they any healthier? Are they any safer? And it's written by the American College of Physicians, by the way, which supports the current establishment. They get their funding from food and pharma. Their biggest funder is Monsanto. Okay, the article states that they looked at 200 studies and basically they found no significant benefit in the claims that there was more nutrition in organic foods. I'm telling you, there's 80% more nutrition, right? But this study was saying nothing was found. But when you read the study, all they looked at was the vitamin and mineral content of those vegetables. They didn't look at the micronutrients, and they didn't look at the phytonutrients. At no time have I made a claim that there's more vitamins or more minerals in organic produce. It's the micronutrients and phytonutrients, which in conventional produce are almost completely dead because they've been killed by the pesticides, they've been killed by radiation, they've been killed by everything that it takes to bring that product to market, okay? They've been killed by the immoral farming that has been done to just make a profit. All right. So the moral of the story here is you cannot just trust published scientific research. You have to verify your source, and you got to follow the money trail. There's always a money trail. You got to follow the money trail. All right. You can also read this. There's an article here, and we'll link that in the resources off the Food Babe site that talks about organic food being a scam. And it goes into a lot of what she has discovered that companies are doing to try to miseducate the public. So there's this Harvard report on organic. Also, this report's pretty amazing. It shows in conventional food there are pesticides residues that remain in the food even after it's washed. Right. So a lot of people think you can just wash off the pesticides and residues. That is not the case at all. It is not safe. It's in the food. Okay. It modifies your food. It kills a lot of the good stuff in the food. So organic foods are produced without pesticides. Okay. sure, there's the argument sometimes that, the neighboring farmer maybe has pesticides they're spraying, but we can't get completely away from environmental toxins. We can only do what we can. And organic foods, when they're tested, have way less toxic levels than conventionally grown. There are 3 long-term birth cohort studies in the U.S. that suggest that pesticides are harming children's brains. Women's exposure to pesticides during pregnancy, measured through urine samples, was associated with negative impacts on their children's IQ and neurobehavioral development, as well as with ADHD. All right, guys. So basically, eating, and I talk about this I talked about this in the mindset course, right? Eating toxic foods makes us dumber. All right. We want to be we want our brain to work at optimum, right? We want our optimal life here. So we have to eat healthy foods. We got to give ourselves healthy fuel. The gray matter was thinner in children with the higher their mother's exposure was to sorry, my pronunciation, organophosphates, which are used widely in pesticides. All right. Pregnant and breastfeeding women and women planning to become pregnant may wish to eat organic foods as a precaution, right? I think you should just eat organic foods all the time. You should feed organic foods to your children. You need to watch what you're putting on your skin. You need to watch what you're putting in your bodies. If a man and a woman want to have kids someday, they should start eating organic from the time their grandparents were born, if they want to have the optimal health for their family in the long term. So when you think about that, the earlier you start eating, the better, because the DNA in our bodies deteriorates the more and more crap we put in our bodies. And we pass that deterioration on in our eggs and in our sperm to our children. And then they pass it on to their children. Now, the sad part about this science experiment that's been played on us by the food industry is that we're only like 75 years into it. So we only have a couple generations that are into this. What's going to happen 5-6 generations from now? Okay, if you look at how bad the health crisis is now, think about the way it's going to be in 5 or 6 generations. We got to turn this around, all right? And we turn it around one life at a time. There's a link to the research article from Harvard. We will also put that in the resources at the end of the course. Organic versus non-GMO. Hey guys, so the Non Gmo project, it's pretty awesome. These companies buy in to have the Non Gmo project verify that their products don't have GMOs in them. A lot of these products are organically raised, but they haven't been certified, but you have to check them individually, check out their websites, call them up, ask them questions. But if it has a non-GMO label, these are the things that it doesn't guarantee, okay? If it has an organic label, these are the things that it does guarantee. All right, so just because there's no organic label doesn't mean that the organic practices aren't used. And if you find a product, you like the company, contact them. Find out what their practices are. Don't be afraid to not buy their product again if you hear something you don't want to hear, though. All right? Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is disease. Ignorance is obesity. So look into things, study things on your own, find out what you're buying. What is pasture-raised and what is 100% grass-fed? So chicken, eggs, turkey, pork, all right? These are things we want to buy pasture-raised, okay? Pasture-raised beef, bison, grass-fed, grass-finished. What are the differences in all these things? So if we're buying pasture-raised beef and bison, these are the things that are grass-fed. You're not going to hear grass-fed when it comes to chicken or eggs or turkey or pork because though they don't eat grass. Okay, they eat weeds and stuff. They eat chicken, turkey, pork. Pigs eat scraps. They're scavengers. Chickens and turkeys, believe it or not, they're not vegetarian. So if you see vegetarian-fed chicken feed, well, that chicken wasn't fed what it's supposed to eat. Grass-fed means it was fed grass its entire life until a month before it's time to butcher the animal. Now, what they'll do sometimes is they'll feed it grass the whole life, then they'll give it corn the last month to plump it up. Well, that makes it toxic because what plumps it up is inflammation in the cow's body. So you want grass-fed and grass-finished. Grass-finished means it was finished in grass, Grass-fed means it ate grass the whole time. So that last month, it still kept eating grass. Grass-fed and grass-finished, if you see 100% equals 100% grass-fed. So if you see 100% grass-fed, that means it was grass-fed and grass-finished. Where do I shop for my meat? I shop at Primal Pastures and Wild Idea Buffalo. And we will also have links to their websites in the resources. Hey, folks, that's the end of Chapter 1. We'll have a brief discussion, and then we'll move on to Chapter 2. All right, Chapter 2, folks. Shopping organic on a budget. The one tried and true worry I get about living an organic lifestyle is the cost. It's likely the only immediate downside because everything else about living organically is pretty magical. Remember, non-organic food often contains cancer-causing hormones, immunity-destroying antibiotics, and dangerous pesticides. Pesticides by nature are designed to kill. They are poison. So when given the choice, I don't know why anyone would logically buy food with poison sprayed on it. Vanny Hari, the food babe. Why is organic really less expensive than conventional foods? The way we talk about it at Optimal Lives? Listen, when you look at the cost on the price tag, sure, the price of a piece of organic fruit or vegetable usually costs more. We're going to teach you where you can get it so that kind of things balance out for your wallet. But really, the long-term cost of healthcare/sick care is so much more than what it would cost just to buy healthier food and to eat a healthier diet. Most conventional produce only has 20% of the micro and phytonutrients when compared to organic. Why is this so critically important? Remember, those micro and phytonutrients are the things that make your cell walls strong. They are the things that fight off disease. If you have less micro and phytonutrients, you don't have the tools to fight off diseases, and inflammation starts to occur as well. They're not sprayed with toxins that are known to cause disease. Organic foods are not sprayed with toxins. They're not sprayed with poisons. And guys, they taste a lot better. I know this for a fact. I mean, it's my opinion, I guess, but I'm calling it a fact because it is such a stark difference. I can tell when I bite into a salad. I can tell by looking at it usually. I can tell when I bite into a piece of fruit if it's organic or not. The taste is overwhelmingly different. There's so much flavor in organic produce. And organic is non-GMO, folks. So why are GMOs so important? Why is it so important not to eat GMOs? You have to remember, not only is it genetically modified scientifically in a way that isn't something that your digestive system can really handle, but they're genetically modified so they can spray more pesticides on them. That's the big reason why they spray the GMO crops, why they make GMO crops, is so they can spray more crap on them. They can spray more toxins on them. At this time, we're going to go ahead and take a look at a comparison between shopping on Amazon Fresh or shopping at a local grocery store in San Diego where I live. That way you guys can see the difference, see what the cost difference is. Anyway, go ahead and watch that video and we will get right back to you and continue this lesson. Right now, what you're looking at is my Amazon Fresh shopping cart, which is Whole Foods Market, by the way. All right, so I went and did some shopping. I'm actually going to order this order minus the greens. I'm going to take the greens out because I actually have greens in my garden, but I wanted to put them in here to compare things for you guys. Anyway, we have a lot of organic produce. We've got grass-fed. Everything's grass-fed, pasture-raised. You can look through this. We got organic apples. We have chuck roast, grass-fed chuck roast. We've got the greens. We've got bell peppers, mouthwash. We have wood polish, which, by the way, I like to buy environmentally safe stuff when it comes to cleaning products. It's just better for my family. It's better for the environment. A spaghetti squash is amazing. You can use this in salad. You can use it as a spaghetti replacement, actually, and we love using it for that. I love pasture-raised eggs. I always get pasture-raised eggs. They're a lot more expensive. They're almost double the price, but that's fine. Because I'd rather eat healthier food. And overall, the thing is you're going to eat less meat, eggs, and stuff like that anyway if you're eating a whole foods diet. So it kind of balances out on your bill. And, we've got organic pineapple, bananas. You can look through this thing. We've got laundry detergent. I've got avocados. I eat almost an avocado, at least a half of an avocado almost every day. We've got strawberries, and we have some Applegate organic uncured Sunday bacon. Now, so my bill, about $220 if I'm buying it in the store, right? But hey, I can get this delivered straight to my house and then tip the guy about $10 and we'll be good to go. Anyway, so if I compare this to shopping at Ralph's, and this would be like Ralph's if you were Giant Eagle, Vaughn, Safeway, Kroger, any of those types of places. So you can see, you're like, wow, if this is the same cart, you're saving what? What do we got here? Let me see, my math's not all that good. What are we saving here, folks? About $55. So we're saving about $55, right? Did I do that right? Yeah. We're saving about $55 shopping non-organic. So this is all your typical grocery store stuff, right? We've got the exact same stuff, though, in this cart, same quantities as was in my Whole Foods cart, all right? So everything is the same quantities, give or take an ounce or two here or there, just because, comparing things. But these are the foods, and by the way, this is if someone's going to the grocery store and eating fairly healthy from this would be if you're eating the Whole Foods diet, but you're not buying organic, all right? So there's no boxed foods here or anything like that. This is all whole foods. You've got the exact same things over here. The difference is these ones are laced with pesticides and toxins. The other ones are not. So what we're going to do here is we're going to talk to you about how this number, okay, is actually wasting your money, and this number is investing in your health. All right? So this number is investing in your health, which automatically makes it much better than this number. However, if we're buying our food not based on the dollar price per calorie or per macronutrient, and we're buying it based on how many micronutrients, phytonutrients we're getting, the nutritional value, this cart is a heck of a lot cheaper. And we're about ready to break that down into a math problem for you right now. Okay, now that you've looked at that comparison, let's talk about the math here. And I'm breaking this down for you. Remember, conventional produce only has 20% of the nutrients when compared to organic. They taste, they have way less taste, and they're laced with harmful chemicals, and they're GMOs. All right? My Whole Foods cart was $222. My Ralph's cart was $165, and as you guys saw, we put basically the same things in. Well, this is like the worst case scenario, folks. This is basically buying the most expensive organic food I can. Okay? I don't go shop at Whole Foods all the time. All right? I do it out of convenience sometimes if I'm doing Amazon Fresh. There's certain things I like to buy there. It's actually a little far from my house. There's a local grocery store called Jimbo's that is primarily all organic, and I do most of my shopping at Costco. Costco has a ton of organic food. They actually sell more organic food than anyone else in the country. So when I look at this, based on this, we need to adjust the price based on a nutritional value. So the Whole Foods cart, we essentially make no adjustment. It has all the nutrients we can possibly get because it's organic, so it's still $222. But that Ralph's cart, we have to take that $165 and multiply by 20%, which means all we should have really paid if we're paying nutrition for the nutritional value when compared to the Whole Foods cart, it's only $33, has $33 the value that the Whole Foods $222 cart is. Okay? That's all you should pay for it because that's all the nutrition that's in it. This makes shopping at Whole Foods, if we are shopping for nutritional value, 6.72 times more cost effective. I'm just want to let that sink in. 6.72 times more cost effective because you're buying crap at the other grocery store, right? The Ralph's cart was toxins. I mean, you are getting more toxins, but you're not getting all the nutrition. So let's keep that in mind as we shop, as we try to reprogram our minds and reprogram the way we think. Now, here's an example. What do you think has more nutrition? I want to try to reframe things a little bit for people. All right. What do you think has more nutrition? Which one's going to keep you full longer? Here's a Snickers bar, right? That Snickers bar is $1.19. All right. This is right off of Amazon. $1.19 for that Snickers bar. You look at the nutrition label. All right. Now, I don't even have the ingredients up here, but you can see it has 250 calories. There's saturated fat, of 4.5 grams. There's almost no dietary fiber, so you're going to have trouble digesting this. And it has 27 grams of sugar. Folks, that's more sugar than you should probably have all day long. And it's all added sugar. All right. It only has 4 grams of protein, and this is a Snickers bar. I've got an apple that's $1.56. Now, this is the nutritional facts of what an apple would have, a typical apple, right? Depending on size. But one medium apple is about 95 calories. So it has essentially, less than half the calories. There's no fat. There's no saturated fat. There's only 2 milligrams of sodium. There are 19 grams of sugar, but these are much different sugars. You also have 4 grams of dietary fiber. So there's a balance between your sugars and your dietary fiber, and your body's able to break this down better. All right? You have a ton of vitamins, and there's a lot more in this apple, right? So you look at the Snickers bar, and when you look at the nutrition, you go, wow, that Snickers bar should make me feel full longer. Wrong. The apple should make you feel full longer. And the reason why is because the Snickers bar doesn't signal anything to your brain that it's got the nutrients that you need. Because there's no micro or phytonutrients in it, folks. This is the apple, right? There's a few thousand phytonutrients found in the apple. This is what your brain's starving for. That's why after you eat this Snickers bar, a half an hour later, you want another Snickers bar. I don't care what their commercial says. All right? Because the more sugar you eat without the fiber and without all the nutrients that go along with it so that you can digest it properly and so that your brain gets the right signals that it's getting what it needs, the more of those Snickers bars you're going to want to eat. And you're going to keep eating them because you're never going to get what your brain needs. The apple, on the other hand, you eat one apple and you're probably good for an hour, hour and a half. I know I am. And hey, you know what? What's the harm if you eat 2 apples if you get hungry 45 minutes later? It's not that bad, right? Because you're getting all these nutrients. So where to shop, how to save money. Once you're educated and know how toxic our food supply is, it becomes very difficult to consume non-organic foods. I can't do it. I have trouble, I really have trouble, even if I'm really, really hungry, I've got to be really hungry, want to chew off my arm hungry sometimes to not eat organic. Right? And it really troubles me when my kids eat non-organic foods. So here are some places to shop and save. Number one place is a farmer's market. You go to a farmer's market, it doesn't have to be USDA organic. Okay? Talk to the farmer. Most of the farmers at farmers markets are using organic practices. I grow all my own food in the backyard. Okay? It's not certified USDA organic, but I know it's organic. So talk to your farmers and you'll save a lot of money. If you stay late at the farmer's market, here's the secret, guys. They don't want to pack the stuff up and put it back in their truck and take it home. So if you stay late, oftentimes you can get things even at more of a discount. All right. Costco's a great place to save money. All right. I go there and I can buy twice as many apples, twice as many of whatever fruit it is for the same price as I can at Whole Foods or Jimbo's or Earth Fare or any other Whole Foods market. Okay, literally it's half the price for the fruits and the vegetables. So they always have a ton of organic produce there, and it's typically what's in season. So that's another thing. Try to eat what's in season. You're going to save a ton of money. If you're trying to eat strawberries in the wintertime, you're going to pay 3 times more for your strawberries. Don't eat strawberries in the wintertime. Eat them when they're in season. All right. My daughter has a real hard time with this. She really wants to eat her berries all year long. But seriously, it's it costs more, and we buy them sometimes, but it costs more. But at Costco, I can get them pretty cheap all year long. So even when the price goes up and they're out of season, I can get them. But it's also good for your body to eat things that are in season. Sam's Club also has a larger supply of organic stuff if you have Sam's Club and not Costco. Aldi's made an organic pledge a couple years ago. I know we don't have them where I'm at, but they're in Ohio near where I grew up, and so Aldi's has a large array of organic stuff. I actually took my dad there when I taught him how to read labels and how to shop for organic, and I was very happily shocked at how much stuff they had that was organic. The organic section at your grocery store, that's going to be a little higher priced, but it's there and it's convenient. Okay, so sometimes there's like shopping for convenience or shopping for price. Amazon, subscribe and save on Amazon. So especially for your non-produce stuff, your non-perishable, subscribe and save is awesome. We get like the Go Macro bars, and we like Tonka bars, which are these bison bars. It's all like grass-fed bison, and we get those on subscribe and save. We also get like our Method laundry detergent and our environmentally safe cleaning products on subscribe and save. Amazon Fresh, that's basically Whole Foods. That's my $222 shopping cart. But if you pick and choose, sometimes things are cheaper at Whole Foods, right? It depends on, what it is. I found like organic ketchup, the cheapest place I can get it is Whole Foods, right? But, it's like $1 cheaper than, anywhere else. It just depends. Different things are different price. There's some online places you can go. There's Herbs Pro and Thrive Market. These are both like membership type sites, so you have to buy a membership, kind of like a Costco or Sam's Club. But you can save a ton on these sites. I've used them in the past. Direct from the source. So this gets into this gets into knowing your farmers, right? Knowing your farmers, meeting with your farmers, getting your food directly from the source, right? We get our meats directly from the source. Like I said, I guess I get most of my produce directly from the source too, because we're growing it. CSAs are these are basically ordering directly from a group of farmers, and they essentially go out to farmers and they get their supplies, and then they ship it directly to you or deliver it directly to you, usually on a specific day of the week. Sometimes you have to go pick it up at a certain place. And usually it is it's seasonal, right? They send you what's seasonal, and you'll get a bag of produce once a week or once every 2 weeks, however you want to set it up. You can sometimes pick and choose what you want as well. It usually costs you a little bit more, but CSAs are a great way to save money. I did this before I started gardening. I did the CSA thing, and it was a great way to learn how to use vegetables that I had never, ever tried to use before, never heard of. I mean, before I made my lifestyle change, I had never touched a mustard green, a collard green, chard. Kale was not in my vocabulary. I learned how to eat all these things and how to cook with them and do things with them because of a CSA. Become friends with a farmer. And if you have a garden or if you have other things, you can become friends with other neighbors, right, that have gardens, and maybe you're growing lettuce and they're growing tomatoes, and you guys can trade. Other places that you can, some of these are more Southern California because that's kind of what I know, but Jimbo's in San Diego, Mother's Market in Orange County, Earth Fare, they're mainly on the East Coast and Midwest. And then there's also a link, and it'll be in the resources at the end of the course on 75 ways to eat organic on a budget. And then, again, know your farmer. Hey, folks, that's the end of Chapter 2. Welcome back. Welcome to Chapter 3, your pantry and your refrigerator. Whew, this can be a sore subject. So you just went grocery shopping, then you decided to buy this class. Anyway, when I first went to clean out my pantry, I considered donating all the food I was throwing out to a food bank. But after I learned what I did, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't consciously even give the food that I had in my pantry that I've been eating for years and I've been giving to my kids, even to the poor. I just couldn't do it. I wanted no part of poisoning another human being. So think about that. As you decide to clean out your pantry, the best place for that stuff to go, if it's something you're not going to eat, is just put it in the trash. All right. If you want to donate to the poor, you want to donate to charities, you want to donate to, they deserve to eat healthy too. So donate real food. What's in your pantry? Going through your pantry and refrigerator can be painful. Okay. Especially you're new to this, you're going to be reading the labels. You need to hone your label reading skills. Use that Think Dirty app. Just get rid of everything that's not safe. Don't save any of it. And don't forget your spices. Okay, if you're not using organic spices, get rid of them. Buy new ones. Spices is something that I've started to practice this because I've been bad about this in the past. Is I buy like the big jar of spice. I only do that now on the things that I use very regularly. The other things I buy the smaller packets because they do go bad over time, or not so much bad, but they lose their effectiveness. So there's a lot of medicinal properties to herbs, and that's why we use a lot of herbs and spices. I actually something you'll learn when you take the urban gardening course is that we make a lot of our own spices. We grow mint and basil and oregano and cilantro and parsley, thyme, what else? Dill. And then we bought a dehydrator on Amazon for like $30, and we just dry it all, and then we put it in jars and we make our own spices. They're amazing. They're more flavorful and they taste great. So, did you just go to the grocery store? What are you going to do with all the food? Again, you can donate it. It just depends on how you feel about it. Some people feel like, hey, I can't throw this food away. So it depends on where your mind is. So, but I urge you, if you're going to donate real food. If you're having trouble with this, stop and think of these items. Don't think of them as food. Okay, they're food-like products. They're not really food. Oh, here's another thing. If you just went grocery shopping, literally just went, or you went in the last couple weeks and you kept your receipt, with the exception of produce and like meat, you can probably take it back, especially if it's in a box or a can. All right, your store, they'll take it back. So take it back. And when you take it back, let them know. If they ask, well, why are you returning? They're going to ask you, why are you returning this? Say, well, I just learned that I should be eating organic, healthier foods, so I'm returning this. And it would be great if you guys would start to carry more organic selection. Don't be afraid to talk to the people at the grocery store, your restaurants, wherever it is that you go, and let them know you're making a change and you want them to start changing with you. If they want to keep your business, they're going to have to change. The more and more people that do this, the more and more organic they'll have in the stores. 10 years ago, 11 years ago when I started my journey, there was hardly no organic in the grocery stores, in a regular grocery store. I had to go to specialty shops. There weren't hardly any restaurants that served organic or even vegetarian or vegan for that matter. Okay? Now they're all over the place. There's a movement. Things are going in the right direction. We need to accelerate them by making sure that we talk to the people that we're spending our money with. All right, let's talk a little bit about cooking, folks. All right, so I know you're probably thinking like, oh man, so I've got to now I got to cook, right? I can't just go to a restaurant all the time. I can't get fast food. I can't get takeout. I don't have time for this. All right, that's one of the biggest arguments that I hear is I don't have time for this. I'm going to tell you right now, you do have time for this. If you're going and you're waiting in line to get a Starbucks, if you're waiting in line at McDonald's, if you're waiting in line for whatever food it is that you're getting, if you're not waiting in line and using Grubhub or something you haven't delivered right to you, then you definitely have the money to buy healthier food because you're paying all that extra money to have the delivery charges, right? But fast food is not fast. It takes about the same amount of time, if not less, to prepare your own food. All right? There's some tricks around this, though, right? So, first of all, most of the meals I make take about 20 minutes to prepare, 30 minutes tops. If I were to get in my car, drive to the nearest fast food restaurant, put in my order, and come home, I've just spent 30 minutes. at least, maybe 40. All right. If I were to go get takeout, it might at the Thai restaurant right down the street from me, or pick up pizza at the place right down the street from me, like literally less than a mile away. It's going to take me 15 to 20 minutes. Maybe even longer because I had to take the time to put the order in. So total time of putting in the order, doing everything is going to be at least 15 to 20 minutes, and it's less than a mile away. All right. If I'm going 2-3 miles away, it's going to be 30 minutes. So you do have time. And here's where you can even save time. Cook and prepare your food in batch. All right. I love to go out to my garden and cut off a fresh salad for lunch or dinner or whatever. Just cut it fresh right then and eat it right then and just cut off the little bit that I need. But it's not efficient. So I don't have time to do that. So what I do is I take a salad and I cut up enough salad for us to eat for a few days. And I put it in a big container. I don't want to do much more than that because it's produce and I want it to be as fresh and new as possible. But that way we can just take it out, throw a little balsamic on there, put some toppings on it, and in less than 5 minutes, I'm eating a salad. Okay? Cutting up the salad takes me maybe 10 minutes. All right? If I'm preparing a stir fry or something like that, I can prepare it in bulk. I can do a bunch. If I'm making a sprouted wheat or a quinoa pasta with sauce or spaghetti squash with sauce, I can do a bunch of it and have it put it in containers for lunches. All right, you can buy some containers and whatever serving sizes you're going to eat and put it for your lunches for that. You could actually spend the night Sunday night making everything for lunch for the week. And you could spend maybe an hour. And now you've made your lunch for the entire week. All right. And how much time have you just saved? Think about all the time you save from going out to eat at lunch. When you're at work. Now you can just go grab it. Don't warm it up in the microwave. Try to do things that you can eat cold because you're just going to kill your food by warming them up in the microwave. Cooking with a microwave is it's not so much that it's not safe, it's that it kills the micro and phytonutrients in your food. So now you have dead nutrients and you just took your wonderful organic food that you just bought and you killed it. So you want your food to be live. All right. Get close to your food and prepare your meals from scratch. You want to be close to your food. You want to understand your food. Okay, we want to be close to nature. All right? Our bodies are designed to be close to nature. Here's some fast, healthy ideas for cooking. Tacos. Tacos are quick, right? It's a go-to in our family. Grass-fed burgers with baked fries. Don't fry the fry. You go buy the potatoes, buy the russet potatoes or whatever potatoes you like. Chop them up into home fries. Spray a little bit of olive oil on them, a little bit of salt. You can season them however you want. We like to put garlic on and things like that. Toss them on a pan, bake them at 350. I like to turn it up to like 425 the last 3 or 4 minutes just to get them a little crispy. Salads are super quick. We talked about salads, stir fries you can put together, casseroles. My wife just started making this amazing casserole with the colored carrots and cutting up collard greens. She just cut up whatever the heck we had in the garden, honestly. I think, and it was just with potatoes, and it's delicious. I was so pleasantly surprised when I came home and she made it. So roasts, you can do roasts. I actually have it right now while I'm talking this class. I have a roast that's on for 7 hours. Nice grass-fed chuck roast that we're going to be having for dinner tonight. Soups are super easy, super fast, right? So there's a lot of things that you can do to cook healthy on a budget and do it quicker than even going to fast food restaurants. By the way, on the blog, look to our blog for recipes. I've got several recipes out on the blog, and then we'll be adding more. There's also plenty of recipe sites out there. You can always modify them. All right, folks, taking action. To change, you've got to change. Take action now. So, get creative and see how much money you can save shopping organic. All right? We're developing a calculator that will be added to the resource section soon. So check that out. It'll be a calculator that you can use to plug in what you were spending, what you are spending now. It'll show you the nutritional value difference, and show you how much money you're really not, maybe not so much saving, but not getting ripped off. Clean toxic foods out of your pantry, out of your refrigerator. Go to farmers markets. Just go explore. Go walk around a farmer's market. They're fun. I honestly wish I had more time to go to them. I don't get to them nearly as much as I'd like to. It's just a scheduling thing, especially with my kids being so active in sports. And then start cooking your own meals at least 80% of the time. Shoot for that. Shoot for 80% of the time. I know you might not want to give up going out to eat lunch with your friends, but trim it down to maybe once or twice a week. All right? Try to cook your own meals 80% of the time. That's the end of chapter 3, folks.